the evolution of my mom brand from 2020 all the way till 2026. We are going to talk about that today. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Anna and I am a homeschooling stay-at-home mom of three, content creator, book lover, travel lover, and I am doing a very crazy 100 days of YouTube daily posting, and we are on day 7, day 8. I have lost track, but if you haven't joined me yet, make sure to subscribe. We're going to be talking lots about life as a creative mom and homeschooling and fantasy romance books and all the things that I have gathered in all these years as a mom, and I'm going to share them with you. So if you want to join me on this adventure and if you want to see the end of this 100 days together, make sure to subscribe. Of course, the sun is in my face the moment I start to record, but today we have a very fun video because we are going to be talking about the evolution of my mom brand. So as I told you, I am a content creator, so my mom brand is my job, and I feel like since I got the online business nudge, I knew that I wanted it to be related to me and my lifestyle. And today I want to break everything down for you so you can see how I started, how my brand has developed throughout the years, how I have changed, and how that has reflected on what I have put out there to the world to see. We're going to talk about the different ways that I monetized throughout the years and where exactly I was every single year, so you can see how things change and develop and where I am right now. So I don't know if I should stay here. The sun is like right in my eyes. Maybe yeah. Maybe there. Oh Lord. Okay, let's get closer. So I have my computer here because I actually wrote an email to my email list about this a couple of weeks ago. And if you haven't joined my email list, it's free. I'm gonna leave the invitation here. I share lots of good stuff through there as well. So that email is right here. So we are going to dive right in. First year that we are going to talk about is 2020. And why 2020? Well, this year, I'm sure for a lot of people, just like it did for me, changed a lot of things. And it probably had to do with COVID and all of that, right? Like this worldwide situation changed lives for many people, and it definitely changed mine. So up till 2020, I was working as a restaurant manager, like a general restaurant manager. I was like one of the top people in the restaurant, and I have been there for 6 years. And when COVID hit, the hospitality industry was one that got hit really, really hard. And in my case, it affected my role in the restaurant, and suddenly the amount I was making a year, which was like pretty solid, was not the same, and my schedule was threatening to be changed. So things started shifting. Since then, I was already a mom, and I knew that I wanted to spend more time with my daughter. So things kind of started aligning. In that moment, I was like, oh my God, everything is crumbling down. But in reality, I feel like everything was aligning. Again, I had this desire to work online. Like, I knew I wanted to spend more time at home, more time with my daughter, but I had no idea on how I would do it. And I think when COVID hit, it was like that push I needed to kind of jump into the unknown. So 2020 was the year I went for it, of course, having no clue what I was doing. I had no idea on how to monetize. Up till then, the only platform that I really had was my Instagram, and maybe it was like at 1,000 followers or something, something like that. And because I had this single platform, I decided to start with what I knew then and what I loved very much, which was travel, like something I discovered when I became a mom is that I wanted to keep traveling even as a mom. I used to travel a lot before my daughter, and now that I had her, I kept doing it. So I discovered that a lot of people found inspiration in that. So the first stage of my mom brand was the mom who loved to travel and continued to do it with kids. So that's where I started. That was my mom brand. In 2020, I was the traveler mom, and I continued to do that. And when I quit my job, the first thing that we did, we started traveling because my husband quit his job as well. So we started traveling here in the US and sharing more about it, and it felt good. It felt exciting. And eventually it is what led to my, I would say, second identity in 2021, which was the family traveler who helped other families travel too. And I became a family travel coach. So in 2021, that's where things started developing from me, who I was, to who I can help. And being able to coach for the very first time opened these doors for me. And it was a very exciting time. It was very fulfilling to help other moms do what I do and have like tools on how to teach them. I invested in not a family travel coaching certificate, but a travel coaching certificate, and I put my angle on it as a family traveler. So 2021 was a year where I started helping other women. It was the first year that I started helping other women. Now in 2022, I would say at the end of 2021 and the majority of 2022, something really, really exciting happened. Something that I still think about, something that I still want to repeat. And it was something that defined me as a person. And it was that we took a 10-month trip with my now 2 kids. I had just had our son, and he was 8 months old. At the end of 2021, we decided to buy a one-way ticket to Ecuador with no return date. So we went to Ecuador and we ended up staying 5 months there, and then we went to Brazil. We stayed 3 months in Brazil, and then we went to Spain, and we wrapped up our trip in Morocco for a total of 10 months traveling. And I kid you not, this trip switched all the ideas that I had of what was possible. Like just being out in the world for so long, it locked in this part of my identity that really, really felt like, okay, I am the traveler now. And this year opened some exciting opportunities because I started working with not brands, but like platforms and media outlets. Like I was getting interviewed and I was getting invited to online events to talk about my experience, and I was writing for magazines. Like 2 years before that, I had no clue this would be a possibility. So going out on this trip kind of gave me the identity. Like it felt real, and now I had all this amount of experiences that I could talk about. It was still very much from the family travel angle. Like that was the filter. I was still the mom traveler who wanted to help other moms see the world with their kids. So everything that I created was around that, and it was really exciting. Like some of my photos were on magazines, so it was a very, very fun year. But then this trip came to an end, which was really hard to recover from. I remember, I keep doing this with my hands. I'm gonna look back at the video and I'm like, what are you doing, Kenna? But at the end of 2022, we had to come back home, and the reason why was basically our savings were getting emptied out, something that I had not discovered or like had locked in. Then, even though I was living the life, I was not monetizing the life, and I was making very, very little money online. Like I feel like I had found the passion and the purpose, but something was not clicking. Like, there was no way for us to sustain that lifestyle without me figuring out and like getting more skills and thinking about, like, really thinking about a better way to monetize it. Like, some people were paying me for family travel coaching, but I was charging very little. And since we were traveling, I started thinking about working with hotels. We worked with one hotel, which was actually a hostel in Ecuador. And I got paid like $900, which was the biggest amount that I had ever charged someone. And coaching, I was still doing coaching, but like in total for like 2022, I probably made like $3,400 for the entire year. Okay, so we were surviving on savings, and my mom brand was definitely not sustaining me. Okay, it felt good, but it was not working the way I wanted it. So at the end of 2022, we came back. I was so depressed, and without having any clue of what I was gonna do, because I wanted to continue working online. I was not going to return to a full-time job. My husband was though, and I was thinking like, how, with the time that I have, how am I going to like grow this online business? I'm gonna have to be home with the kids. And then I discovered UGC. I actually have another video where I talk about that more in detail, and I'm gonna leave it here so you can go and like explore my beginnings as a content creator mom. So that happened at the end of 2022, and I learned what user generated content was, and I realized that I had been creating content for all these years for my brand. What if I can start creating content for brands? And this is where the content creator mom was born, which was 2023. So I have it right here. That's the year I became a content creator, and I started getting paid to partner with brands. I couldn't believe this was a possibility, and it was really exciting because it was the first year that I could say that I really monetized my mom brand. So at the end of the year, I made something like $29,000, something like that, which was nothing compared to what I was making as a restaurant general manager, but so much more than I had made in 2020, 2021, and 2022 combined, probably. So it was a very fun thing to discover, and it was great to see how I could become like this family traveler who also got paid to work with brands. So that was it was exciting, but it was one of the first challenges that I found during the season, because I did not know how to do both. Like, I felt, yes, I want to continue partnering with brands, but do I also want to continue coaching? Like, it was a year where the confusion started to rise, and I decided to focus a lot of my energy into the content creation part. Okay, we have the sun in my face again. Where do we move? Ay. Okay, so that was 2023, which was basically the start of the content creation business. Now, something interesting happened for 2024, and I think it was the coach in me wanting to come out again. And also the fact that not a lot of people were doing user-generated content back then. And a lot of people that I had connections with via Instagram, like other mom creators or other family creators, bigger accounts, they started to notice that me with a smaller account, which maybe at that point was like at around 6,000, 7,000 followers. So someone like me who had a smaller account was making money partnering with brands. So there was a lot of curiosity there, and things naturally developed into me turning into a UGC creator mom coach. So UGC creator mom coach. And those were good times, especially at the beginning of the year. I invested in mentorship, and I started creating my very first products and programs. I had women join these very first programs that I launched. And I was like, oh my God, now I get to again teach other women, other moms about about a skill that I have learned so they can do this as well. So yeah, it was a great time for my mom brand. It was a great time to see how I could start combining income that came from brands with income that came from coaching. But what I did not foresee was me getting even more confused because I started to get spread really thin. Like at this point, I had a third baby and I was already homeschooling my oldest, and I was still staying at home, like everything in the home was still on my shoulders. And now I was working with brands, and I was creating offers, and I was creating content for both things. And there was a moment when I felt that it was too much, even though I was having like dream partnerships, working with Amazon, working with Allegiant Airlines, and loving, like really loving coaching women and being there and sharing about my experience, and women were responding. I got to the point where I realized I could not continue doing both because something was going to suffer. And it started when I noticed my content creation income start to dry, like really dry. And I decided to stop coaching in 2025. Like I think 2024 was a year where I tried this and then realized, okay, Anna, you're trying to do too much and there's just no way you're going to be able to sustain all of this. Something is going to suffer. And it took me a while, but in 2025, which was last year, I decided that I wanted to stop coaching and thought about what if I decide to reconnect with this traveler in me and just dial it full into your content creation. And that's where the creative evolution happened. And I feel like right now in 2026 is where I still am. So where this started, I think unintentionally, my mom helped me figure this out. And I was thinking about starting a YouTube channel, and this was in 2025 still. Like I was thinking about it, like I wanted to start becoming this magnet where brands could find me, and my mom brand and my business could continue to grow from the content creation part, from the storytelling, from me being myself, and continue to share about the things that I love, which was something that really got lost in 2023 and 2024 when it was all about money, money, money. This is how I'm making money. This is how you can make money too. And with so many people having the same message, I feel like my mom brand got really watered down. So thanks to my mom, one day I asked her about like, hey, I think I want to start a YouTube channel. What do you think? And then she told me, why don't you start talking about like your homeschooling, which I had never done. And for a second I was like, homeschooling? Like I'm not an expert in homeschooling. Like I know I do it all the time, but like homeschooling. So she put that seed in there, and it took some months to cook and start to grow. But eventually I started sharing about my homeschooling on TikTok, which was not my main platform then, because my Instagram was like a whole traveler, UGC, and like all of these other things. I was like, how am I going to even put homeschooling in the mix? So I started on TikTok, and then something really crazy happened. Like I started attracting a tribe of women that I had no clue were there. And my account started to grow. And for me, that was a sign like, okay, something that is very true to me right now. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to be an expert. I just have to be sharing me and it worked. Like, I started attracting all these women, and then I started sharing my love for fantasy romance books, which had nothing to do with homeschooling, nothing to do with travel, and nothing to do with content creation, but it was so me. It is still so me. And the magic just multiplied. And now this is what my brand is all about. And it feels real. It feels creative. It feels like all of the parts of myself that had been growing in all these years have come to a whole, have like matured, and now they get to coexist and create this beautiful, unique recipe that is so hard to replicate. And this is what a mom creates, is now this mom brand who talks about homeschooling, who talks about content creation, who talks about travel, who talks about books, who talks about all the things that make her what she is right now. And it doesn't have to make sense, and it doesn't have to fit within a niche. And it works because it has attracted so many incredible women, so many women who also love all these things. And I call them, you probably have heard the term, my unicorn mom tribe. And it's been wonderful. And this video has been so long, so if you have stayed all the way here, I love you. This is one of the longest videos we've done, but I hope this leaves you with the idea and thoughts and, like, you know, things for you to, you know, think about, mull over when you are on your own. Think about where you are now. Think about all the things that make you you. In the end, the best thing you can do for your mom brand is be as uniquely as you are, and to put it all out there. It doesn't have to make sense, but I promise there are women out there who are just like you, who want to know the crazy things that make you you. And I think your mom brand has to be an extension of that. So yes, I'm gonna wrap it up right there. I'm turning into like a sun ray. The sun is wild today. But thank you for watching all of this. I will see you tomorrow. What are we going to talk about? I don't know yet. We are going to do this for a lot more days, and I'll see what comes to me, and I will see you tomorrow. So make sure to subscribe.